Now, is it running? Just want to see if YouTube is running or not. Hope so. Now, okay, awesome. Now it's streaming. Hello, Shape. I hope you're fantastic today. In today's very stream, I want to share with you UPW port 9. Okay, first of all, just make a shout out to Jeff Willer. Thanks for watching. Also, you can watch myself on YouTube in 4K quality. This mic is for YouTube. It's not for, if you're wondering why the sound is not so good, because I have the mic not for YouTube, but for, not for Facebook, but for YouTube. If you want to watch YouTube, just hit on to my YouTube channel, pogodora. Alternatively, just go into my own. Let's click onto my icon, and then you can find my profile. In the profile, click, you scroll down, will find my website. Go on the website, and on fifth lane, and you will in the stream too. All right, without further ado, let's jump in. Yesterday, I have talked about that according to Tony Robbins, we can live in two states. We have duality even towards states where. And depending where you are in, it is corresponding to another state. So we can be in a beautiful state. I have told you, you do the breathing exercise, you do the freaking state exercise to be in a beautiful state, right? Or we can be in a suffering state. And suffering state is actually when we suffer. So today I want you to go a little bit deep about suffer, because many people say, hey, I'm suffer, but not many people know why you suffer. Not many people know why they suffer and what suffering is in the first place and where it comes from. Okay? So, first of all, I want you to ask yourself 3 questions. How many questions? 3. The first question is, what is your flavor of suffering? What is your flavor of suffering which you are tasting the most in your life currently? Okay? Just ask yourself. Let's write it down. First question. Now, I can tell you what mine is, by the way. Mine was the most one is the suffering of being guilty, because sometimes I don't earn that I want to earn and I just spend too much money on something, so I feel guilty, or feeling worthless. Simply worthless because I'm doing streams and stuff on P. I don't get appreciation of something, and this is kind of those things, or you know, it gets a little bit with me, especially back in the days. Not now, but back in the days it was pretty harsh. And sometimes I feel it though, but I try to not being with those people who make me feel that way. Okay. And it can be people, by the way, who make you suffer. It might be people, it might be occasions, it might be situations, it might be everything. It might be animals, or like currently the ducks are pretty loud outside. They can make you suffer. Maybe suffer your ears. Now, second question is, what is the triggers? What triggers them? What triggers this kind of suffers? What is the flavors of suffering? In my case, when I feel like I have nothing accomplished, like I did everything, but I feel like nothing is accomplished, I'm not moving forward at all, I have sometimes this kind of feeling. And when I feel nobody is actually needs me beside my parents, yeah, this kind of feeling that I'm doing a lot, but in the end, who doesn't? When I just disappear, when I just freaking die, what will happen? Who will actually care about me? Maybe my parents, nobody else. And the third one is occasion is procrastination, you know, watching too much YouTube, playing too much Fortnite and so on, and wasting on this maybe a day or two. Can happen. Now, my third question to you is, what can you do to break this pattern? My third question to you is, what can you do to break this pattern? As you write it down, I can just tell what my pattern interrupt is. It is just, I made it back then in UPW. I just said, I hit myself in the chest and just scream, top of my lungs, which means like permanent development, permanent growth in Japanese. I mean, it has a little bit bad connotation in Japan because it becomes more like, tedious work or more like too much work. However, I feel like the root of Kaizen is not bad, because you just over and over you make it better and better. It's not bad. I mean, it's what Bruce Lee has thought about, right? Better than yesterday. Be today better than yesterday, and tomorrow better than today. And I scream to my lungs, and then I watch myself, my own achievements, reminding myself my own, in my past achievements, reminding myself how many people I have helped in the past, and I'm still doing my stuff on TikTok, YouTube, and so forth, social media, and do even, like right now, daily live streams. I mean, not every single day, but I try to do it every single day. And besides Saturday, I give my best to do it. Sometimes I have to do something, it's just not working out, but I do my best to do it. Maybe not my very best, but for example, when I went to the freaking dentist, I mean, sometimes it's not good to watch myself having a freaking swallowed cheek, speaking not really fluent, not really distinctly English, you know what I mean. Okay, so these are the 3 questions. Now, when you have answered these 3 questions, I want you to remember one thing. All the suffering that you experience or will experience and have experienced comes from focusing on yourself. All the suffering comes from focusing on yourself. Now you might yourself, hey, it's really bad to focus on yourself. How about the freaking yogas? It's a different story, okay? They are focused on themselves in just watching the situation how it is without painting any colors. They are doing it on a very in a really objective way, okay? Not subjective, but objective. You are focusing, when you suffer, you're focusing on yourself subjectively. It means you are painting the colors even more darker than they are in the first place. And the second place is, let me give just an example. I just want to pull the curtains really quick because it's pretty dark outside. It's getting dark. Okay, just really quick. Okay, it's fine. Now I have my curtains closed. Okay. So, for example, easy example that I have also given like 100 times. You are approaching a girl in a party, right? And when you don't have a really high confidence, you will just be focused like, hey, she's just watched over. Do I have a pimple? Do I look bad? Am I creepy? Have a creepy smile? Is my shirt not right or something like that? It's just, and you just focus on me. Pretty selfish, isn't it? You are not focused on her. You are not focused on how can I make her smile? How can I make her better day? And so on. How I can entertain her, and so on. You are focused on you, and this kind of selfish focus, especially this subjective, selfish, egocentric focus, is actually the cause of suffering. Okay. Now, and many people say like, hey, altruistic is when I'm for my family, it's altruistic. No, it's also egoistic. Okay, so it is altruistic when you are thinking about people who you don't even know. Okay, this is what altruistic is. Now, there are 3 causes which are suffering caused by. Now, everything is actually caused, of course, it is caused by being about yourself, right? But the causes are the 3 thoughts: loss, less, and never. Okay, I have lost something. I lost my home. I lost everything. Can you help me? And you give it to a universe and feel like really this needy situation. And the universe is just say, yeah, I can help you, but you are more focused on your suffering, so you will get more of the suffering. Now, less. Something get cut, like the freaking salary got cut, or so I can eat less bread, and so on. In those kind of things, or never. It is just one chance. You have never the chance again. The only thing that we can maybe say never is death. Okay, when someone dying, nothing will happen when she's already dead. Okay. However, the thing with death is actually we can be eternal. If you know the book Lifespan, where David A. Sinclair, PhD, have talked about. By the way, you can also watch if you don't want to read this book of him, Lifespan, you can just watch Joe Rogan's podcast. It's basically what he is talking about. Like 90% of this book, he is talking the podcast. If you don't want to spend your money on a book, okay. And it's basically what you should do is exercise and so on and eat less. You have to when you go out of when you eat something and after eating you have to have this kind of feeling a little bit you feel hungry, and this is exactly where you should stop eating. Okay. Now this is actually to never, right? And same goes also for never, like you will never have this chance. Again, it's just today. And people who are pitching you are using this pretty good, because people get this freaking FOMO, fear of missing out. You will never get the chance again. And the thing is, you will always have the chance. The thing is, we just don't see these chances because we're just focused on the negative side of the medal. There were like a show where a reporter and a real estate agent, they just run through the streets of Manhattan. As a real estate agent, had just seen, oh man, there's one real estate I can buy. This I can buy. So many opportunities though. And the reporter just where? And this is basically where to focus on. Because we're focused on real estate agent, he was in a high vibrational state, but the normal reporter was in a more or less state, so he hasn't seen the same opportunities. It is not that opportunities are not there. The thing is we cannot see them because we are not focused on the right thing. Pretty much. Okay? Now, loss, less, never. Those 3 things. And remember it that suffering gets more suffering. If you suffer right now, if you suffer from something right now, first of all, now you might be offended right now when I say it, but don't see it just on the surface. You deserve it. You deserve the suffering right now. And now you might be offended how people can deserve suffering when they are lying on the bed and dying. How people can deserve being raped. How people deserve having the bad diseases. How dare you? You are speaking from a sigma of the thinking that you have been learned by the society. Okay? By the prisma, which has been shown you by the society. You are thinking, currently, when you answer this way, you are answering the question. Or you are giving your thoughts on my truth that you deserve suffering, as I deserve suffering, and everyone deserves suffering. I mean, if you choose to suffer. If you choose to, then we deserve it. Because the universe doesn't take you something that you don't need. When less, it means, for example, you get ill. Okay, you get ill. And the thing is, the universe is sending us signals to grow. There's signals to grow. For example, there are people like in one of the regression of my in the regression teacher who I'm currently do the translation of the book. She has talked about one nice thing. One of her previous patients, clients, had one experience. She had a son who was in a wheelchair, and the mother of the son comes to my teacher, and they have really spent money and time like for years to get him off in a wheelchair, and to get him off in a wheelchair eventually after 3 years or something like that of therapy, of regression therapy. And what happened eventually, he got out of the wheelchair, and what happened then? After several months, she called back my teacher, and she said, can you get him back to the wheelchair? Why? I mean, you spent so much effort, so much time to get him off wheelchair. Why you want to have them back to wheelchair? Well, when you got out of the wheelchair, you started to drink alcohol, to take drugs, to be around, this kind of nightlife style and so on. It is easier for me to it is easier to handle him when he was in a wheelchair. Now you have the matter why in the first place this kid was in a wheelchair. To prevent, to make his karma even more dirtier than it was. Those diseases that we have, those problems that we have, those suffering that we have, it is all about learning lessons. We have to learn our lessons. And you want to get rid of your suffering, because every suffering comes from loss, less, and never. First of all, you have to remember that suffering gets more suffering. The more you suffer, and the more you are in a suffering state, the more you get suffering. So instead of you have to get to the state, you have to get to the beautiful state every single day if you suffer. And one other thing is that loss, less, and never is an illusion. When you lost, you have still an opportunity to turn it around when you have learned your lesson. When you have less, you have still an opportunity to get more when you have learned a lesson. When someone says never, the moment when one door closes, 3 other doors opens. You have just to be aware of them. Simple. People are telling about, hey, those things are so complicated. It's not complicated. It's really simple. And it has to be simple. So people understand. And everything what is genius, it is simple. It is not hard. People make it hard. People who make it hard and expose it hard and show it in a hard way, well, those people they've just memorized the books they have read. Really great. They can memorize, but they haven't processed it to bring it out on a simple way. Now, what can end your suffering? Now you know what suffering is. You might want to know how you can end your suffering and what will end your suffering. First of all, appreciation and enjoy. Appreciation and joy. And by the way, you don't need anything to appreciate and enjoy. You do not need a freaking Lamborghini. You do not need a freaking Gucci bag. You do not need a higher salary. You do not need anything. You do not need any presents to appreciate and enjoy. You do not need. And you do not need to compare yourself with others to appreciate and enjoy. If you focus on appreciation and enjoyment what you have. You see narration, you see it, you start it first, not from a subjective, you see it first of all from an objective way, what you have. And you see, and then you feel this appreciation. And when you embody this appreciation even more, you feel this joy. And when you feel the joy, you feel the happiness. You don't need anything to be happy. You do not need anything from this physical world to be happy. You do not need anything from this physical world to enjoy. It has happened in our minds. It's happened in our mind. Of course, when I give you PS5, you feel joy. Cool. After several months, the joy was you just get used to, don't you? So this joy is not about getting something. It is all about having something and appreciating something that you already have. Now, learn to laugh. Learn to laugh. Many people do not learn to laugh. Why? Because they don't know how. Well, love is actually not just, hey, I love you. No. Okay, I mean, it is doing. It is what you do. You can say it, you can type it, you can do it. But it's always something to do with action. Love is action. And even when you meditate and send love to someone, it's already action. Okay? So in this day and age, we all can send love. All can practice love. We can learn love. Everyone. How? Well, right now, you have your mobile phone right in front of you. You can go to a YouTuber you like, or even better, that you just scroll through his feeds and see someone that you never seen before, watch one video and just say, cool, you have an amazing video. I love it. Dude, you are really amazing. And you know what? When you do a little bit here, it will be more great. It will be even more better than before. And I know you can do it because you're so much talented. Do you get it? The sandwich thing? First of all, you praise something. You say, you're amazing. Okay? Second one, you say something. Here you can do it a little bit better. And the third one, you praise again. Pretty much psychological thing. And you can do it right now. After the stream. You can just go and see YouTube, Facebook, everything. See or read someone's content and then just appreciate it. It is already learning love. It is so easy. And you don't have to complain Corona is outside, something that you don't have to. In fact, you have chosen to complain. Now, laugh and give. And this is exactly what I'm saying, give. You don't have to give money. You don't have to give. You can give just advices. You can give just something. Because money, if someone comes to me and say, give me money, I never give them money. Never. Ask me why. Because I'm heartless? No. Because I love this guy. Because I love this guy who I never seen before. I love him or her. I love this girl who I never seen before. I love as a human being. Okay? And why I don't give any money? Well, simple. Because I know this money will last maybe for 1-2 days, maybe for a week, maybe for a month. But this is ephemeral. Instead of I don't give you the fish. I give you the road and show you how to fish it. Okay? I don't give you the fish. You have to take the fish yourself. Because if you know how to fish yourself, you will know how to get the fish always. If I get you the fish, you don't know how to get a fish. I hope you got it. And it's all about, love is not giving what people want, but what people need. Do you get the difference? And this exactly, people want just a fish, always. I give them the road. I don't give them the fishes. Because I will bring them maybe for 1-2 meals, not more. So your shortcut to end suffering, guys. Now you know what suffering is. Suffering is all about loss, less, and never, right? And now you get a shortcut to end suffering. Are you ready for it? Comment yes down below if you're ready for the shortcut to end your suffering for once and for all, okay? And before I introduce you to the shortcut, I just want to make a shout out to Jeff Villar, Oliver MK, and Joing Wu. Wu. Okay, so the shortcut to end your suffering is trade your expectation for your appreciation. And in that very moment, when you start to trade it, and when you have traded it, what happens is your whole life will change. Now, expectation. Loss? Well, you have never expected that you lose something, but you lost something all of a sudden. So you have still expectation there. Less? Same goes here. You never thought it would go less. You have the expectation it doesn't go less, but it went less. You had never an expectation that it will be never, just one chance at lifetime. So you said like, okay, when you lose a chance, you had the expectation that it's lost. You got it? Expectation. And now trade it for appreciation. What will happen now? No matter if you have lost, less, or never. You have lost, you appreciate the situation where you're right now. You have less, you still appreciate the appreciation you have right now. You have lost opportunities, never, you have still appreciating the situation where you're right now. You are unbeatable when you are trading your expectation for your appreciation. Just do it. I'm also struggling with it. And it was really a big insight for myself too. And I'm also working with it. Try it out. You don't have to pay anything. The only thing you have to pay is some minutes of appreciation, which give you better results every single day. Appreciate what you have. Appreciate what you have. And do not compare yourself with others when you appreciate something. Do not say, yeah, I appreciate what I have because, yeah, people in Africa have less. No. It is not the true appreciation. It is just a surface layer of appreciation. Okay? Go more into depth. In depth is you do not need anything to appreciate. You do not need anything to appreciate. You see it? That's pretty deep, right? Now, guys, Reshaper, I hope you have an awesome day. Comment in the comments box below what's the number thing I picked up so far. As always, do not let yourself super now. See you tomorrow.